Hare Krishna everyone, Radhe Radhe. I hope all of you are doing well. Today I am back with Shloka number 16, where we are going to learn about what Sri Krishna tells about the soul and body and how are they different from each other. Last we had discussed how soul is the eternal and body is temporary. So today we'll do Shloka number 16. Let's get started with this. Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayor api drishtostas tava anayos tattvadarshibhi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. These seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. There is no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of the different cells is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind. That is the difference between matter and spirit. By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of the truth, both impersonalist and personalist. In the Vishnu Purana, it is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotimshi Vishnur Bhavanani Vishnu. The words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. That is the version of all seers of truth. This is the beginning of the instruction by the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. Removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself. The difference between oneself and the Supreme being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole. In the Vedanta Sutras, as well as in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural consequences. The living entities belong to the superior nature, as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. Although there is no difference between the energy and the energetic is accepted as the supreme, and energy or nature is accepted as the subordinate. The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment and of all the living entities for all time. So, in Shloka 16, the Lord is saying that both the personalist and impersonalist, who are the truth seers, they admit in the fact that there are two types of elements. One is non-existent and one is existent. Or you can say two types of truth. One is non-existent and one is existent. So the non-existent one does not have any endurance, and it gets destroyed with passage of time, because it is created, so it gets destroyed also, just like the body or the mind. Or then we come to the existent truth, which does not get destroyed at any cost, and it always remains constant, unaffected, which is the soul or the spirit. Now, like we discussed, that the body and mind are the matter, and they are ever changing in nature. That means that there is going to be growth, there's going to be old age, and there's going to be death. So all of this will happen to the body or the mind. Whereas the soul, that is the spirit or the atma, that exists always in the same manner. It does not change despite any external changes, and hence it is eternal in nature and is also called the spirit. In Vishnu Purana, it is said that Sri Vishnu and his abodes are self-illuminated, and they have spiritual existence. That is, they have always existed and they don't change, they remain constant, unlike in Bhulok or Mrityulok, that is the earth. So starting of the wisdom, Sri Krishna breaks the illusion that we are the body, and he tells us that we are the soul. And this bewilders those who are ignorant and they're sleeping in the womb of Maya, and they think that the body is permanent, or they're sleeping in ignorance of the ego. So when Sri Krishna starts giving the real wisdom of life, he does this first because he can remove the ignorance of the soul that is sleeping in deep slumber of Maya. And once he can help remove that ignorance by telling the soul about the difference between the body and the soul, it helps the soul to remember its eternal relationship with Lord Sri Krishna himself, and to be able to understand that we are all parts and parcels of him only, just in different boxes, looking like different, with different colors or with different shapes. And that's the only thing that makes us different, but internally we are all the same. Knowing that there is no other, it's just one in different forms, is what liberates all of us. So, in Vedanta Sutra and Srimad Bhagavatam, it has also been mentioned that Sri Krishna himself is the origin of all the souls and all the life forms that exist in this universe. So what happens is, here he also says that the living beings are in the superior form of life in terms of realization of connection with Lord, because they have consciousness, unlike the non-living beings or the living beings who do not have consciousness. Hence, it is considered that a human life is extremely, extremely sacred, and it's a blessing to be able to realize and remember your relationship back with the Lord again, because in this we have the best type of consciousness in this body. So, it is also said that there is no difference between the energy or energetic. The energy here refers to nature also. So here they are considered as the subordinate of energetic, who is the Lord himself, that is Sri Krishna himself, and he is the source or the supreme. So Lord Krishna, being in higher consciousness, helps give us clear knowledge to dispel ignorance, because he is unaffected by Maya, and he's untouched by it basically. So he can tell us everything without its illusion. Hence he teaches Bhagavad Gita to enlighten all the souls, so that they can come back home. They can come back home to God, and that's the whole point of being given a human life. Else, um, you don't get a human life if your karmas haven't been that good. So now, specifically a fully functional body and all of this, we have been given that for a greater cause. So to be able to realize that sooner in life is like winning the whole purpose of life, and knowing that doing whatever action was worth it, because at the end of the day we can return back home and will not keep wandering on earth in different bodies in different lifetimes. Knowing that coming back to Godhead is the only bliss and happiness that we experience, and that is one of the highest form of bliss, peace, love, truth, wisdom, and happiness that we can experience. That is why he's called Satchidanand. Alright, enough for today. I'll be back tomorrow with a new video where we'll be doing the shloka number 17. And until then, I hope you take care of yourself and keep doing the Hari Nam Jap. Happy chanting. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe.